I guess the issue somewhat is Facebook and are others giving a pass to the right as a way to avoid looking like California liberals with their thumb on the scale. But at the same time, you end up with them still being accused of being California liberals with their thumb on the scale.
Right.
What do they do?
Well, there's no winning with people who break rules. They're just taking advantage. And, why shouldn't they? I mean, I hate to say that, but if if Trump and his allies get away with it, why shouldn't they get away with it? I mean, I just had my son this morning send me a dozen videos that Trump is dominating. He's like, why is this happening in my feed? And then he gets some that are Biden, and he said they're more respectable, which was interesting. I think he's 15. He knows the difference. And so he knows when these videos are out of line. And again, why shouldn't they do them if Facebook does nothing to stop them? And so playing this political game with the conservatives is ridiculous. It should be any rule breakers on the left or right should be taken down. Like, I don't even understand what their calculation is at this point.
Well, so much of it is necessarily arbitrary, isn't it? Because
some of it.
I mean, there are so many people in my Facebook feed, which I try to look at less and less, on both sides of the political spectrum, posting things that are inflammatory and, in some cases, dubious where the facts are concerned.
Right, exactly.
They're not getting kicked off, but if they were high-profile people, they'd probably have more attention. I mean, it's kind of impossible for anybody to police this 100%.
Well, I know 100%, but they do let they used to do this with Alex Jones. They let him get away. They used to have a number that they would never tell me. Like, is it 6 times that Alex Jones can violate it or 7? We can't tell you because he'll know and then he'll game us. Well, he gamed them nonetheless until they finally got tired of it and removed him, which was the right choice in the beginning. And they should have suffered the slings and arrows for doing that because it was the right thing to do. I think the difficulty is you've created a platform where there are rules that are not enforced and the rules are confusing and the people making the rules are confusing. And so why shouldn't these different groups try to take advantage of it? Why shouldn't people try to organize, whether for good or ill? At this point, I don't think it's the fault of the people who do the violations. I think it's the fault of the platform. And so now we're going to have a lot of postmortems on what happened in a couple of days and figure out what's going on. But if you have the head of Facebook wanting to shut down portions of it, as Kevin Roose recently said, why not just shut them down for a while? Some of the things that they have. And especially the political advertising and the videos, not just on Facebook, but on YouTube and other places. It's just sort of gotten out of hand, and they've got to figure out the rules they can enforce. And we do that on television. They do it in all kinds of places, so it can be done.
Yeah, no, we have blackouts on all kinds of government data. I mean, it happens all the time. By the way, Kara, Facebook does respond to the WAPO story. I'll read it in part. They say, we defer to third-party fact-checkers on the rating that a piece of content receives. To this day, we remain the only company that partners with over 80 fact-checking organizations to apply fact checks to millions of pieces of content. It sounds, though, that you think that it's like fighting the wind. There is no way to fact-check everything.
Right. And also, it's just like over there, they did it. It's like it's their platform. And so that's always their excuse. And I agree. There should be also fact checkers. There's all kinds of things. But in general, it's been treated this way for so long and everyone's been getting away with it. Why shouldn't they get away with it? And I hate to say that at this point, but they really are responsible for this mess. And then putting it off on fact checkers or whoever are making excuses. I think what'll be interesting is post all this and in a while, too. It's not going to be for a while. They're going to be able to figure it out. And they've just created a platform where anything goes and anything goes. And that's where we are at this point. And there's no government intervention. There's no guardrails. There's no rules. And we have what we have. And, it's a moneymaker. Look at the stock.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.